always been in a relationship. Like my first marriage was in preschool. Like I still, like all of this goes on. And because I was the take charge, I was like, I used to be really like, when I started off, I was independent. I was like all the strong, the
Sorry,
take
when
charge.
you started off, are you talking about like 5 years old, 6
Like
years old? What are you talking about?
Preschool, like,
okay.
Like I used to, like, I, throughout time, like my natural personality was strong
Mm-hmm.
and it got shifted towards the passive, towards the programming. But I used to feel very, like, I remember just being like, you carry him down the aisle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I carried him. I picked him up and was like, we're doing this. Like there was a whole thing, the preschool teachers. Now it's funny that I have this much memory of it. I don't know why I do.
Preschool's like 4.
Yeah, 3, 4, something like that. Yeah. So I still have memories of preschool and daycare, which is funny because then memories stop. And then it's really, really hard to have memories after that. So, you know, I know we can pinpoint that, but we're not talking about too much trauma right now. Stuff's already activated. We're moving on.
Maybe that's why we were supposed to hang up the thing in front of the door so that trauma didn't come in here.
Right? It was the trauma guard.
Yeah, it's not just for sound.
It's like it's a whole new way to view
trauma.
a dental dam. Just
view a dental dam. Oh, baby. I love your fucking humor. It's so good, especially in these moments of like, you just got trauma out of here by making a joke. Anyways, back to your preschool wedding. Let's hear about it. I'm so excited.
So I've been in a relation. I'm not saying that. I don't name drop. Okay, Mr. Name Dropper. I don't do that.
Mr. Name Dropper.
So I remember his name, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Out of respect for your first husband. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the other many places where podcasts are available, take a minute and hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of reaching over 1 million people with this podcast, and we need your help. So if you're feeling extra generous, go ahead and leave a review, give us 5 stars, and then share your favorite episode with someone. All of these things help the podcast grow and expand and reach more people, which also helps us get better and better guests so that we can continue to bring you great episodes week after week. Thank you both for listening and just being you. We believe that healing is possible no matter where you're at on your journey, and we all do better when we heal together. Now let's get back to this episode.
Okay. So I've been in relationship my entire life, and I knew like marriage was the goal. Marriage, very much it was like in my brain that you are not worthy unless you are in a relationship. And I would be in a relationship with anybody. And I was in a relationship with it because I'm worthy. Somebody loves me. You have to be in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, then it's because nobody wants you. It's because you're not good enough. All of that I was programmed with, that I fucking bought into, that is bullshit. And I know I'm where I'm at in life. I'm not saying like, I know that things happen. I know like I've learned lessons along the way, all of that. And I am so grateful. I'm not interested in being single. I am very happy, like with you. I want to know more of my autonomy, and that's coming up. Like we're figuring out more of that differentiation. I've been practicing that word, like that unbinding, that codependency, unraveling, getting to that interdependent. And the more that I'm feeling that, I'm getting excited as I'm figuring out me. Things would have been very different. And if I didn't have that belief that I had to be in a relationship, that I had to be, what is the word, that there's something wrong with you if you're not in a relationship, that things would have been very different if I would have known that I didn't think that I had to be in a relationship.
What are some ways that you think it would be different?
Because I wouldn't have been in some really terrible relationships and accepted so many terrible things happening. Like this is my perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like I recreated my parents' relationship over and over and over again. And as long as I was in a relationship, I had value. And if I didn't believe that, then there would have been a lot of me that I would have got to know along the way, instead of having who does this person want me to be? And not everybody has done that. I understand that. Not everybody has done that, but I sure as shit did. And that's what I can talk about. I didn't really get to know me throughout my life because I was taught me was not good enough. Me was a mess, was a wreck, was stupid, was worthless, all of the things. And what was important is who I was for somebody else. It's how I made somebody else look. It's how I took care of somebody else. So I never got to know me. I got to know who this person wanted me to be. And I had to be like, it's just, and anything to get me out of my house was just, so it's this whole convoluted thing. So when I hear people that are starting to realize, like, you don't have to be in a relationship, you don't have to be in a relationship, you don't have to have kids, like, kids are wonderful. I'm so grateful for ours, but I would, this is what love is. This is what love is. When you get married, you have kids. That's what you do. And never would I say to our kids, well, you're not going to know until, you have to get married. I think there was a while I would have. But it would never be like, you just need to have kids. When are you going to make me a grandma? Fuck that. Like, do you want to get married? If you want to get married, get married. If you don't. Like, you don't ever have to get married. You don't ever have to be in a relationship. You don't ever have to have kids. You get to do what feels right for you. It doesn't change your worth. It doesn't change your value. It doesn't change who you are. Does it change your experiences in life? Absolutely. Are there experiences that happen with a partner? Are there experiences that happen with children? Are there experiences that happen that you don't experience? Yeah. And vice versa. You experience things when you don't have kids and when you don't have a partner that, they're not really getting that same space. So there's just a whole bunch. Your worth has nothing to do. There's nothing wrong with you if you're not in a relationship. You're going to experience things differently. You're going to have different experiences, and different parts of your shadow are going to come up in different ways. It's going to be healed. Things are going to be different, but it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That's my rant on it.
I think it's important. First and foremost, thank you for sharing all of those thoughts and those your experience. I also think that this programming is one that comes, I think, a big part. I mean, because we're always unpacking the programming that we got from our parents, from our family, from those dynamics of the house that we grew up in and everything like that. This one feels like a societal program.
Yes.
This one feels like one of those things that's built into the infrastructure of society, where it's like marriage, children, like, you have to be in a relationship. That's the progression of life. That's, what else are you doing with your life if you're not moving in that direction? And I think it's based off of wherever, right? I don't know where it began or where it started. I think there's a part of it that probably comes from, like, I'm always thinking about things as far back as I can kind of imagine, and from a evolutionary standpoint. And if we're not procreating, and if we're not, do you know what I mean, doing all of the things that we need to do in order to make new humans, then we don't sustain ourselves as a species. So I can see that, like, there's some probably aspect of it, but over time it's convoluted out into this new thing where it's just not real anymore. It's not healthy. I mean, we've got 8 billion plus people on this planet. Like, if a few of us don't go through the process of having relationships and making children, I think we're going to be okay. It's not the type of thing where we have to always be procreating in order to be not only healthy, vibrant parts of society and culture, but it's just not necessary.
We were meant to be. We were meant to be.